Hey, it's your favorite, Gortron. I'm doing something a little bit different today. I got a live replay of a Vengir v Vengir 1v1 on Pangea, which is something rare. It's rare to see this. You never really see other Vengir players. So, I don't know if you guys watch Salmonella Academy, but he recently did a video where, on like the top right corner, he adds like the chess bot opinions on the things, if they're like mistakes or brilliance or blunders or book moves. So I'm going to be, in post, I'm going to be adding that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my entire turn. So like my entire side of the match. And I'm going to go through the opposing Vengir side of the match. I'm going to kind of talk about like the book moves, what both of us were thinking here. So without further ado, let's get started. So, just to start, I know immediately if you start at second place as Vengir, your opponent's going to be Vengir. The replay's a little weird. Yeah, okay, once you start moving, the replay will fix the points. But, they can tell I'm at a lighthouse. I can tell that they're not at a lighthouse. And so when I do Vengir v Vengir, my typical loadout is to go Swordsman and then double Swordsman. And what that'll allow you to do is to contest this middle city if the opposing Vengir goes for it. This is one of the two Vengir openings. The other one is to go Warrior, which is what I think our opponent did. We'll see what our opponent actually did. So yeah, I would go double Swordsman here. Costs all my stars, puts me in a bad economic position, but it gives me a lot of center control, which I'm going to need. So just very standard, pushing out towards the middle. Always want to do that as Vengir. We're on turn 2 now. Push towards the center city. I'm using resource indicators here. We see a mountain and a forest, so I'm going to go check out over here. Look to see if we find any villages. We don't. Rather unlucky, but that's how it is. So we go hunting before we grab the village. That's pretty important. It'll allow us to grab a tier 2 capital on turn 4. So we grab that. That's all good. Push forward. And then we run into the Vengir. I hit him. You typically don't want to hit a warrior or a swordsman with a swordsman in this scenario. But I know I've got this swordsman up here. But if they had a second swordsman, I don't know. Did I score count? You can score count to see if they got a second swordsman. I don't think they did. So I know if I hit him here, he's going to capture it. Can't kill him. However, I can heal this guy and then he can kill him. Or this guy can come down, which I believe is the plan. And then I'm going to go 4, upgrade capital, 5 for a second swordsman in this middle city, just so I can put as much pressure to steal Vengir's city too. So I don't see another warrior here. Upgrade capital, grab a forge so I can start producing a swordsman per turn. That's a pretty important star count to get in this matchup. So they move off. I think they figured I have a troop up here. We'll see from their perspective on turn 4 next time. I move towards the center. I see they have a second swordsman. I hit it, just because I know I have a swordsman backing it up. They don't got a swordsman backing it up. Pretty standard macro stuff. I don't know if that was the right play, because now they can just get a free kill here. But we'll see how it rolls out from there. So you see that they got a second village up here. So I believe they did actually go swordsman warrior. So it's definitely the right play to whack them on this city here, because now they're just healing it. They don't have access to the city, and I'm going to gain control of it. And then rather importantly, you see they go archery. Now typically in a Vengir matchup with any other tribe, you want to get archery as soon as possible. Archers are really strong against swordsmen, since they can do a warrior's full of damage without taking damage back. And so what that means is that 3 or 4 archers will completely lock a Vengir player out of pushing into you, just because they can trade a swordsman per archer. But that's your other archers are going to wipe out the swordsman. And swordsmen cost 5 stars, and archers only cost 3. And so Vengir is one of the most economically strapped factions in the game, if not the most economically strapped faction in the game. And so if you have any sort of positive star ratio in trading troops, you're gonna win that fight. Now the issue here is that this Vengir is going archery when there are already Vengir, which means they don't really have a lot of stars to be trading with. They do get the defensive bonus, which is going to be very nice for them, as we'll see in here. But it could be considered a book move, just going archery against Vengir. But I don't think it was the right play for them. I think going into a better economy would have put them in a better situation. But we'll just see how it plays out. And then you see in my capital, I got swordsmen coming out. We really want to take this third city from them. So yeah, we'll see how our turn plays out. So we wipe it out. I know I can grab that city. And train more swordsmen. I know he can take out this middle city here, but if he does, I'll have troops in position, these two, to wipe out this swordsman. So yeah, he takes him out. He's gonna do standard stuff. So you see the archers coming out. But you're gonna see the issue where they're just gonna get they don't have enough room to be effective here. So now they've got swordsmen on threatening both their cities. They can't train archers here, because if they train an archer here, swordsman's gonna whack it, make it pretty much useless. Like this archer, it's still alive, but it is kind of useless in terms of damage. You can do like 1 or 2 points. So we wipe out this city. Make another swordsman. They go swordsman warrior. I believe I win this fight. Yeah. So let's go back here. This is a pretty important thing to see, or just to know about Vengir. Oh, that was a total blunder by them, pushing that archer back instead of taking this guy out. But yeah, swordsmen do 8 damage to defense boosted warriors. So if you can do pretty much 1 or 2 damage with any troop, for example, 3 HP swordsman, you can then go in with the full HP troop and take that city from them. And so I think that's what we do here. Yeah, just do the 2 damage, trade it out. Swordsman. They do have like a nice defensive line here, where they got the defense boosted warrior, the archers in the back healing up, but they just didn't get that center control, whereas I did, which is just going to be really rough for them. So I just get more swordsmen, get another warrior, just get as many troops on the board to just overwhelm these archers. And so finally I take out their swordsmen, and well, you can see they have a troop up here, but that's not going to be nearly enough. We're going to turn off fog here. They had a swordsman up here. Wow, that is a strange village placement. But that's the game from my perspective. We definitely saw that Vengir, our opposing Vengir, did a couple blunders here. And perhaps I did a couple blunders economy-wise. I think I'm going to go back and post and just do some little comments here and there in like text or something. And so anyways, now we're going to play it back from our opponent's point of view. So just going to pause you here. The cheese god. So yeah, now we have our opponent point of view. We're going to turn off shared fog. And so they do the other standard Vengir opening, which is to go swordsman, warrior. This will give them a lot less control over the center of the board. As you saw, they're going to lose this city over here because they didn't have double swordsmen. They didn't stack the swordsmen together. But it does have a lot of advantages. Typically, I would actually recommend going swordsman warrior as Vengir if you're playing most other tribes. I think Cymanti and Elrion are exceptions. But the reason you want to do this is it'll allow you to upgrade your city on turn 3, whereas if you're Vengir and you double swordsman, you won't be able to upgrade until, I believe it was turn 4, right? Yeah, I wasn't able to upgrade my city until turn 4. You'll see that they're going to upgrade their city on turn 2. And so that'll actually give them 4 additional stars to play around with. And that'll allow them to get that early archery. But they also lose that center city because they don't have enough board control. So it's kind of a trade-off. I would normally recommend this, but if you're doing a Vengir v Vengir, I think I always recommend the double sword opening. So we've got him, let me go back here. I did not see that fast enough. Kind of unlucky they didn't get a spawn off of this right away, but that's just how Vengirtopia is sometimes. They grab this village here, and they see me take this village here. Now, if they had gone double swordsman, I would have lost the game here. Well, maybe not if they moved it back like that. But if they had gone double swordsman and they kept them stacked, they would have seen that city become open, and the double swordsman could have taken out my swordsman there and taken my city too. And that would have been really rough for me to deal with. However, I saw that they didn't go double swordsman, and I gunned for that center city. Which is kind of something interesting. If you're playing a Vengir 1v1, you don't necessarily want to take the center city first, just because it puts you at risk of, what if they have two swordsmen and they just move them up like that and take out my city. But if you do score counting, I believe swordsmen are 25 points. And if we go here, they should be able to see my score is 750, right? My score jumps up by 25. It's 25 larger than theirs. I obviously win swordsman. A warrior was revealed. That's not how... Okay. Replay's weird. Anyways, they see this. They get this city. That's good for them. How did they get a second warrior without... I think Vengirtopia replay's bugged. Yeah, Vengirtopia replay's just bugged. Okay, so they upgrade their city. They grab a swordsman. What is going on? I think this replay's haunted. What? Okay, yeah, so you see what they did. Healing the warrior there. I believe they would have been able to, I don't believe it was... Okay, let's see their view here. So they have 8 HP here, and then they move him to the side so he doesn't die. Yeah, that was probably the best play for them. Now, them moving their warrior here, I should have actually just moved onto the city. Though, let me look at shared replay, shared view here. And just look at Vengir's perspective, my perspective. I turned off shared fog. If I was score counting properly, I could have seen that I could have just moved directly onto the city. And that would have put a little more pressure on them. Maybe healing was the better option though, because if they heal up, I believe a 10 HP swordsman kills an 8 HP swordsman. Okay, pretty standard stuff. They get their city too eventually, but it just really hurt them to be this behind on a city too. Even though they went the economic route of getting a warrior instead of a swordsman, they're economically behind because they never got a city too by the time they needed it. So they get a free kill here. Assuming they go swordsman. They don't go swordsman. So I think that's the biggest blunder of the game here. Going archery. If they instead went something like warrior, swordsman, they could have warrior hit this guy, take him out with the sword. Swordsman up here will put a lot of pressure on my middle city and force me to go in the defense and force me to start worrying about them knocking out my troops. And that's kind of like a really important thing to know about Vengirtopia is the attacker almost always has the advantage in combat interactions. When you attack, like let's say 2 warriors on another warrior, right? One of your warrior goes to 5 HP, the other one kills it and takes no damage. And so you have a 2 warrior bonus, right? You have 1 warrior took 5 damage, and the other one's at full HP. Whereas the defender has lost a warrior. If they only had 1 warrior there, they're just kind of out. If the defender has 2 warriors, then it'll be an equal trade. But the same logic applies to swordsmen, right? If you have 2 swordsmen and they hit each other, if the 2 swordsmen hit a defender swordsman, that defender swordsman just dies, and all the defender did was deal 8 damage, whereas the 2 attackers got a kill. and only took 8 damage for it. So the attacker always has like an economic incentive to attack, assuming the defender isn't matching what they're attacking with. So if they were to put a decent attack on this center city, they could possibly weigh that economic advantage that they would have had to kind of wrestle that out of my hands, or just force me to spend more stars to keep this center city alive. So they go archery, which is typically the better play, but they're playing Vengir, so doesn't really help them out here. So they hit that guy. I think that's fine. If I were them, though, I would have... It's obvious they're not going to get Pembu. It's obvious I'm going to move another swordsman to defend it, even though they can't see that because it's in the fog. You should assume that they're going to do something to defend this city. So if I were them, I would have moved my swordsman here, then whacked him, and then that way you can reinforce it to get even more HP there. Good on them for exploring up here. That's going to be pretty important that they get more cities on me. But now you're going to see they're pop capped, right? And now they have to fight swordsmen with warriors, which is it's not good. You don't want to be fighting like that. So they hit the warrior, shoot it with the archer. I'd say that's fine. Yeah, that's definitely what you should do. But now the warrior just dies. If they had a swordsman there, actually the swordsman would have died as well. But this swordsman wouldn't be around either to actually hit back the archer. So they would have had 2 full HP archers to be shooting at this guy. They could have gotten a 3rd swordsman into Sar. And then they would have been in a good situation. Maybe not a good situation, but they wouldn't have this situation where they got a swordsman right here, a swordsman here. Their archer would be at full HP. They could possibly kill this guy, maybe go another swordsman in Natsubu. And they push him back. I don't like that they pushed him back. You want to... Even though it would have been hit by this guy, now that's where they lose to Sar. It's just overall bad macro by them. So they lose their second city, and now it's just over. I just have a critical mass of swordsmen that they just can't deal with. And so I'm just gonna gun it for their capital. Don't even gotta worry about this city up here. And they concede. Yeah, so that's gonna be it for this video. Short and sweet compared to my other hour-long, 3-hour-long, and 20-minute-long Vengir videos. Hope you guys enjoyed. Comment if you want anything specific out of Polytopia. I'm only doing Polytopia videos right now, by request. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. You ready? You ready? Boom. See this right here? It's the Subway Surfers that you're watching right now. You see me clicking it? Oh my god, we're in. I'm gonna turn off the webcam. Alright, we're in the Subway Surfers until we find a game. That's right, your fresh moves. That's right, you're trapped with me. Feel your attention span slipping away. You can just doze off. It's exhilarating gameplay. Hoverboard. Oh my god, are we not gonna? There's gotta be somebody else playing. Other than Maddie. This is so hard. I cannot pay attention. Oh, let's go. We got the jetpack. Let's go. Okay, wait. While we're doing this, there's nobody playing.